It is currently 10:06. Today is Friday, September 14th, 2018. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good day. As you can tell, I'm in my night clothes, my casual clothes. The night has fully become upon us. And I feel it is only proper, since today is Friday, the end of the work week, to sit back for a minute and just reflect on my week. Looking back on it, looking back on what I did, looking back on terms that I feel describe my week, and seeing what lessons I could learn and what ways to improve for the next. I will not lie, this was a week of a lot of anger for me. A week of division is what I decided to title this as, because I feel that describes this week perfectly. I think I'll best describe it. The best way to describe it is I found a lot of division and a lot of infighting in the spiritual community. Not even just that, not just the spiritual community for the pagans though, but even other communities that I'm unfortunately a part of. The vision of people who made it go their purpose to go out of their way to try and bring their division into my life, into my time. Let me, just for I guess a basic example. One of the businesses I am tech for, I cannot give details, but all I can say is we have a lot of clients who are individuals of their own. You know, they're not staff, they're clients who live there on the campus facility. One of my work things I do there with them, is I supply wireless connection for them, the Wi-Fi, so that they can use their devices. Simple enough. We have a voucher system so we can track in case something happens, they lose their device. So we can, if anything ever happens, we have the ability to do some work with them. It's a very simple process. And they sign forms and everything for it when they go to the facility. The issue is, some people there are very frustrating. Let me put it that way. To use yesterday as an example, when the Hurricane Florence started coming down on the world. That was weird. Sorry, I just saw a notification show up, status notification on my computer. Sorry. When they were coming over, they wanted to ask about it, and I told them, I said, well, I can't. They were asking some questions, and then eventually got to, because I have some stuff of spiritual nature on my wall in my office. I refute because I believe that I should always have pride in who I am. This individual started acting sort of rude. He proceeded to call Hawaii an island of devil worshippers and believed that the island should sink under the hurricane of God, as he put it. The man was a Christian. It is not his first time, though, that he has come into my office and badmouthed my faith. Not the first time he's come into my office asking, why is it that the people who hired me there thought that it was okay to hire someone who speaks for the devil around these kind of people. And it is infuriating, I will not lie. It does anger me a lot, I won't lie. And I try to ignore it. I try to be the better person. But I get home and I look on Facebook. Unfortunately, I'm thoroughly convinced social media is the ultimate evil of the universe, some days. There were people who were turning the situation of the hurricane into one of conflict for them, or into a victory for themselves, if that makes any sense. They are hearing that people they heard that their group or people were praying or whatever, and that the hurricane was the hurricane was downgrading as they always do. One of these people, I will not give her name because I do not believe in. I will say that she has a YouTube and she has a Facebook and she does a lot. She has a business. I will not say her name because I do not want to give her free advertising of using her name. But I will only say that she is someone of a very hypocritical ideal. That's the best word to describe it. And I have no fond opinions of her at all. To me, her entire mentality, her attitude, is quite frankly disgusting. The way she was treating the situation was disgusting. And all it did was infuriate me more to see people sending her videos to me saying, hey, when this will prove that the hurricane, that God's power is greater than the hurricane, so you should convert. Unfortunately, I have a lot of people in my life that demand that of me, especially because I was taught my traditions and grew up with what I believe. It's not as what they're used to, in the sense that they're used to people who grew up Christian or whatever, because it was too hard or something, they switched to something else. That is not me, and that does not work for me. And that infuriates them even more. Unfortunately, they believe that because it infuriates me, that they can, how do I describe it? They believe some very rude, vulgar things. I could go on for a few days about stuff that they have told me to my face, said to my face, threats they have given to me. And honestly, a lot of those threats could be used to press charges on them. And in some cases, I would want to. But I realize it's not on them. It's not their fault that they misunderstand. And as long as they're not willing to act on those in violence towards me directly, in person, I will be respectful and give them the benefit of the doubt. But a lot of them have been very, very aggressive this week, and that only promoted further this division I find. For a few times I was almost jokingly saying, it's stuff like this that would make me want to see the hurricane wipe everything out. Because then I would love to ask them, so what does that mean about your faith? But that is anger talking. That is not truth. And every time I realized I was thinking that, even jokingly, I chastised myself and brushed it away. That is not how I should be acting. That's not how I should feel. You should never just carry anger, hatred, spite in your soul. And I won't lie, I made the mistake of thinking it. But I guess something I'm just really noticing, it's the way the world is now, I guess is the best way to put it, the cliche there. People are wanting division, wanting conflict, solely for the thrill of it, if that makes sense. They're not trying to use the conflict to establish a motive or to really change anything. They're literally using it just because they want anger. They want an excuse to be angry. And it is sad, I'll say that. It is truly sad. And to really see that so much in this week, just because of all the things that lined up, really just saddened me. I guess that's the nice word I'll use to describe it. But that is in the past. The week has passed. As I showed this morning, I was more than willing to do prayers of protection for the different places. I believe I'll end it here, and tomorrow we'll do something more positive. I may make actually tomorrow a bit about one of the other things that I had to react and explain to people when I started getting frustrated a few days ago. Once again, in the Christian community. For the record, the only reason I really deal with a lot of these people is there are a few people I do have respect, but a lot of them they show themselves up. I will be within the spiritual community, doing my own thing, being with people, being with my people, just we're having our own casual, civilized discussion. They will try and weasel their way into the discussions to make it about them and try and pervert all semblance of discussion. And unfortunately, what I've been taught about Christianity, specifically Protestant Christianity, is that that is what they believe. That is what they're taught to do. They're taught to be protesters, the Protestant belief. They're taught that they are supposed to protest instead of allow civility. But that is a discussion for another time. Let us just move past and really see this as a reminder and a lesson of the importance of finding unity and finding civility in the world around us. And my friends, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the rosary.